Choice hotels are hitting a record high today as positive guidance affirmed a rebound in leisure travel. The company saying they're seeing the benefits of broader work from home trends, too. Travelers are extending their days into the, quote, shoulder days of the weekend. And as the U.S. plans to open its borders on Monday to vaccinated international travelers, they say the holiday travel season is shaping up to be pretty strong. Joining me now in an exchange exclusive is Pat Pacious, the CEO of Choice Hotels. Welcome back, Pat. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here.
Each of those trends is pretty interesting. Let's start with leisure travel. You guys have a lot more exposure to that than business travel. Would you say it's fully recovered, or is there still room to run?
Well, there's definitely room to run. I think if you dial back the clock to Memorial Day of this past year, every single holiday weekend, we have really been surprised with the outperformance that we've seen. And that's continued here into the fourth quarter. So as more children are now getting vaccinated, as you mentioned, the international borders are opening. We have a significant number of snowbirds that we missed out on last year because the land border between the U.S. and Canada was effectively closed. So those snowbirds travel. They travel by car, and they travel to our hotels in Arizona, Florida, and other locations. So there's a lot of additional room to grow on the leisure front as we look into the next 2 quarters here.
And how are you preparing for Monday when we could see the return of international travelers with possibly quite a vengeance?
Well, we've been pushing for that as an industry, as you know, and we're really pleased the administration has sort of now opened both the air corridors and now the land corridors into the U.S. So our hotels are ready. Our industry has been pushing for this for quite some time. So we'll be excited to welcome back our international travelers and all the people who support them, all the tourism industry workers who support them as well. All of those end up in hotel stays for our industry, and we're really pleased that that's starting to happen.
I'd have to imagine you're hit by labor issues, whether it's, do we call it the worker shortage that you might be experiencing? I don't know how your vacancies maybe compare with other parts of the industries, wage pressures and that kind of thing as well, and vaccination issues. You guys fall under the vaccine mandate?
Well, on the labor shortage, that's been our biggest challenge. In the last 2 months, I've been out at regional meetings with our franchisees. I've probably met with over 700 of them. They represent about half of our hotel portfolio, about 3,000 hotels. They're telling me their biggest challenge was labor. They are having to pay more to get housekeepers, to get front desk personnel, and to get breakfast attendants. In our part of the segment, limited service, it's not as large of an impact. The average Comfort Inn probably has about 25 employees. So we're not as impacted as some of the larger big box hotels are. And how our owners have been adapting is they've relied on us to provide them with new technology. We're now using something called housekeeping upon request, which allows guests to opt out of housekeeping. That saves on the environment, and it helps our owners save on costs. And we've seen a really high adoption rate on that front. And we've also provided our franchisees with a new tool to help them reprice their rooms multiple times a day. The volatility in what we're seeing in return to travel is really challenging when you're trying to forecast and set your pricing. And so this new tool is really a step function change for our owners, and it's allowing them to adapt to those changes in the marketplace, particularly since we're now in a much more inflationary environment.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.